I feel like I look completely different today, but I know that I don't. I know I look the same that I do every single day, but for some reason, I feel different. I ran out of my eyebrow pencil, so maybe that's it, because I'm not very good at filling in my eyebrows without it, but that's okay. I just popped. My leg popped lock and dropped it. I'm in a really weird mood right now. I'm really hyper, but I'm also really tired at the same time. So I'm hyper, but a tired hyper. Does that make sense? You know when you want to be really hyper, but you're too lazy to be hyper? I'm not really making much sense. I'm sorry that I am the way that I am. I actually want to hear a fun fact. Yesterday in my stream, we tried to be PG for a little bit of time, and I went 41 minutes in my stream without saying a single swear word. I said damn at one point, but nobody heard it, so it doesn't count because nobody heard it. They knew that I said it because I admitted to it, but I ended it with, are you fucked? That was the thing that broke my streak. Are you surprised? Probably not. But I'm back, and I have more Let's Not Meet stories that I'm really excited to read. Actually, I haven't even picked any out, so is that lying? I said I was really excited to read them, but I don't even know which ones I'm reading. This one sounds crazy. Okay, this one says the time that I was roofied, and this one's a little bit longer. When I first moved to Texas, one of the first times I went out, like in Dallas, we were at this bar, and I blacked out that night, and I've never blacked out from drinking before. I don't drink that often. Okay, I'm gonna say this now. We're gonna get this out of the way. I know I have a reputation for drinking a lot, but I really don't drink that often. I just go out a lot, but when I go out, I don't drink that much. I used to get really drunk every time I went out, but now I'll have like 2 or 3 beers, be a little bit buzzed, but that's pretty much the extent of my drinking. But one of the first times I went out in Dallas is when I drank a lot. I blacked out, but I've never gotten to the point where I can't remember a single thing from that night. Like the whole night is black. I have one memory, one single memory of me staring at concrete. Okay, because I was throwing up in the parking lot, and I remember I just saw like my feet and the concrete, and my friend told me to like move my foot because I was gonna throw up on my foot. But I was completely out of it, completely blacked out. But I swear somebody drugged me, I swear. And one of my friends too said that he shared a drink with someone, which is just dumb. And he said after he took a sip of her drink, he felt really fuzzy, he felt really weird. I don't know if I got drugged, I don't know if I did, but I'm just saying. Now we're gonna read the story because my story time is over. And like always, I will have the author on the screen and all the stories linked down below, so if you guys wanna go check them out, go do that. I'm gonna move y'all back so I can get nice and comfy, cozy. Now you're just really close to me, get out of my face. I was about to move countries in 2015 when my girlfriends and I decided to get together as a final bon voyage type of deal. We settled on our favorite pub, one we've all frequented over the past 2 years. 5 of us managed to squeeze around the table and have a good laugh as we sipped on Chardonnay and kicked off the night with smiles and sentiment as we recalled fun stories, knowing that I wouldn't see my friends again for years. One shot of fruity vodka later, my friend left to the bar alone to order everybody another glass of Chardonnay, the drink that now makes me gag by hearing the name of it or tasting it today. Story of my life. Whenever I drink something and throw up from it, I can never drink it ever again. Like I cannot drink vodka anymore because I've just thrown up from vodka way too many times. I recall being a few sips in, maybe a quarter into the large glass, before I had no choice but to stop drinking. At the time, I thought the alcohol was hitting me harder than normal, which was strange considering I had a very large dinner beforehand, which is generally safer than drinking on an empty stomach. It consumed my vision at first. Moving my eyes was strained and heavy, and it made the surrounding walls of the pub shift slowly whenever I tried to focus my gaze on something. A similar sensation to hopping off a once spinning roundabout as a kid. Guys, I was surprised at how distant and slurred my voice was, and so was everyone else at the table considering all my girlfriends fell silent all at once. In that state, all I could get out was, "I don't feel right," among yet another slur. In the brief moments that I could hold my gaze long enough to look at my friends, I recall them exchanging uncomfortable glances before they laughed. "You're such a lightweight." That was that. Something I hold zero grudge for when we remember my friends were tipsy at this point in the evening. I began rocking slightly in my chair, the movement subtle since I was simply trying to remain on my seat. The strained words of "something's wrong" were my last for several hours. Though not from lack of trying. Wait, that's terrifying. One friend propped themselves beneath each of my arms, propping me up like some drunken puppet for the rest of the night. While outside in a smoking area, I have the vague memory of a lone man without a drink in his hand smirking at me. I thought it was odd that he was alone, but otherwise his misplaced amusement is easily coincidental without proof. With my head rolling over either of my shoulders, stumbled steps and slurred protests, my friends were still settled on pub crawling even so. I'd be like, "Bitches, I gotta go home." This is where my memory becomes even darker. I could even tell you the pubs we visited in vague enough order, but I have little to no memory of walking between them. I may as well have teleported considering these enormous gaps. Oh my god. Men laughed at me while I sat poorly on a bar stool in another pub, eyes rolling into my lids whenever I couldn't focus my vision. It was only when I failed to hold a glass of water, spilling some on my friend's knee, that she finally decided to take me home. "Something's wrong," I tried to say once again, stumbling and falling on the pavement once my friend released an arm momentarily. They laughed, confirmed I was once again a lightweight, and then, oh my god, I'd be like, I'm not. And then I woke up in my girlfriend's bed with vomit in my hair that I don't remember expelling. She asked me to leave her home in the morning, probably because I vomited in her bed. Nearly falling down the staircase multiple times, I managed to leave her place and walk down the dark and empty street to my own. We were next door neighbors, so this wasn't a long stretch, thankfully. Making it down my pathway, I fell again and simply lay there. I wanted nothing more than to black out just so the world would stop spinning, recalling that anything on the outside of my vision would ripple and warp if I moved. Somehow I managed to force myself up and get through the front door, met with a very angry and worried mother who knows I drink responsibly. I'm the type to remain tipsy so I can look out for my friends, known to tuck everyone in with water and bread by their bedside, so needless to say, seeing me like this surprised even her. But I couldn't speak despite trying. I only slurred a string of partial words in reply. When she left to another room, the last thing I remember is crawling up our stairs. For the next 10 to 12 hours, I woke up on the bedroom floor, tights ripped and one leg bruised from— wait, what? One leg bruised from the earlier drops throughout the night. Oh my god, I got so scared. I was like, what just fucking happened? A pool of vomit beside me and struggling to breathe before blacking out again. It took me another 2 days to fully recover, which was thankfully in time for me to board a plane to another country. Oh my, it was one hell of a send-off, that's for sure. For those wondering why I didn't go to the hospital, I was mainly unconscious through the recovery window, and everyone around me shrugged it off as nothing more than a hangover. I would be like, there's no way that this is a hangover. None of these symptoms are a symptom of a hangover. You blacking out consistently throughout the 2 days, it's not a hangover. Not even close. It was only years later when I told this story that good friends shook some sense into me, confirming my fear that somebody drugged me that night. My theory is that some asshole spotted a group of young women enjoying a girls' night and dropped the drug into a drink at random when a friend collected our glasses of wine at the bar, hoping to pick one of us out when the drug hit. I hate this world. I hate the world. I hate men. I hate people. I apologize for the length, considering I hadn't actually encountered someone scary. Okay, but that's scary enough as it is. Oh my god, there's a bug. But my hope is to share and inspire you guys to truly keep an eye on your female friends while drinking. If they go from 0 to 10 in a matter of minutes, tipsy to unable to walk on their own, please don't dismiss them as drunk like I had been. I consider myself very, very lucky that they chose to prop me up, because if I was left alone in that state, I would have stumbled out of the pub without anybody at all. Stay safe out there. Very good lesson. Please be careful, you guys. There was a video that went viral. I'm sure you guys saw it on Twitter. It was 2 girls who were at a concert or maybe like a music festival, and they were dancing and they were taking a video, and this girl had a glass in her hand, and you see in the video a guy dropping something into the glass. A lot of people thought it was fake, maybe that she bought Molly or something and so he was giving it to her in like a really discreet way, but a lot of people were like, well, that still happens, so you just have to be careful. Oh my god, ew. Okay, this one says I found a dude under my mom's bed, so either his mom was fucking someone and hiding him, or there was somebody who broke into their house. So I guess we'll find out. So this took place in July, almost 2 months ago. My family rented this nice 1-story house in the outskirts of a sea town, and since it was on the side of a huge hill, we got a breathtaking sight of the sea. The master bedroom was quite small, with the king-size bed at the center and a big closet in front of it, the windows directly on the backyard. The backyard, where we hung our clothes to dry, had a ridiculously low and easy to climb fence, which went directly into the woods. So now I'm going to assume that somebody broke in. It was really hot, which I can't stand, so I left every window open to let in a nice draft. I know, I'm naive, but I only did it during the day in broad daylight. My brothers and dad couldn't be there because they had to work during weekdays, so it was just me and my mom. I was on my period for a whole week and didn't feel like going to the beach, so my mom agreed to leave me home alone so that she could go with my grandma. Of course, I didn't want to stay alone, so I called a close friend of mine, almost boyfriend to be honest, who happened to stay in the same town for the holidays, Ray. He came over bringing some weed, and I was really excited to try it since I'd never smoked weed or pot or anything like that. Weed and pot, same thing. We were staying on the balcony, enjoying our smoke and the view, chatting quietly, when I heard a soft crashing sound, as if somebody fell on one of the many carpets we had there. When I mentioned it, Ray laughed it off, saying that I'm hearing things, and that's normal with drugs. Oh my god, fuck this. But I was pretty sure of my hearing, which never fails, and it's exceedingly good, I gotta say. So he replied, maybe it's your cat. We both knew I couldn't bring my cat on vacation with me, and that it had stayed in my hometown. But we searched for it anyways, laughing like idiots. Ray opened the kitchen cupboard, screaming, "I'ma find that little shit before you do." I went into the master bedroom and opened the closet, giggling something like, "Here, kitty, come out now, stop hiding. This is terrifying because your cat isn't even there. What are you looking for? High as fuck." Then I kneeled and looked under the bed. There was a dude laying on the ground and staring at me wide-eyed. Oh, I'd shit my pants. I'm pretty sure time stopped, as well as my heart. I have no fucking idea what kept me from screaming at the top of my lungs, but I got up, walked out of the room, and shut the door behind me. My mind was trying to process what I'd just seen. I never let go of the handle. I think my knuckles turned white at some point. Ray walked over giggling, but he went dead serious as he looked at me. I told him there was a guy under my mom's bed. He thought I was hallucinating and tried to joke about it, but I grabbed my phone and dialed my mom's number. Later on, he told me he understood I was serious only when he saw that my hands were shaking like a bitch and my fingers were having a hard time dialing. When my mom picked up, I sounded so cold and controlled, and I still get chills whenever I think about it. I told her I was with Ray and that we found an intruder. My mom arrived in the span of 5 minutes, I think, and not much after the cops arrived too. I think she called them because me and Ray stayed still in front of the door in silence. It was agony. They didn't find anyone, of course. My mom noticed a pair of panties missing from the clothes hanging outside, But aside from that, fuck, there was no other sign of an intruder. The cops had a hard time believing us because of the smell of weed. Of course, Mom gave me a huge scold about that, but we never heard from them about the case. I'm sure I wasn't hallucinating because he was there, and I remember every single detail of his face and how he held his breath. Me and Ray joke about it sometimes, but I'm pretty sure he's creeped out too. Needless to say, I don't keep my windows open anymore. So weird dude hiding under my mom's bed, let's not meet. I have a lot of fears, and I always say everything's my biggest fear, but that's gotta be one of my biggest fears. I'm scared that there's always just gonna be somebody here, somebody just like listening to me, making fun of me when I mess up every words that I say. That was perfect. Making fun of me because I don't know, I'm scared. Oh, this is beautiful. This one says he called me pretty and then joked about shooting me. Okay, they said this happened yesterday. For some background, I work at a local bakery that specializes in fresh baked pastries and bread. We're insanely busy, especially now that we're getting closer to fall and the holidays. We have a lot of older people come in, and I've definitely had some strange interactions with older men, but nothing like this. I was only a few hours into my shift. We had been slammed all morning, and unfortunately, I was on front counter. I was getting pretty exhausted with interacting from customers, but my lunch was just around the corner, so I wasn't too stressed. An older man comes in with who I assume was his mother. Right off the bat, my stomach drops when I see him. But seeing as I was the only one available at the time, I shook it off and greeted him. He sort of just stared at me, and then he began sounding off his questions. What's your darkest bread? Do you have sour rye? What's I don't know what that fuck, some type of bread. Campagolo, etc. The questions weren't strange, but every time I would answer, he would just give me that damn stare and look me up and down. Ew. He decided on a few loaves and seemed offended when I asked if he wanted them sliced, so I just rolled my eyes and bagged them up. At the time, a coworker was actually in line behind him, waiting to get food on his day off. Our barista guy walked over to talk to him as nothing else was going on, so I immediately felt more comfortable. Wrong. You're a really pretty girl, he said, staring down at me. Great. Here it comes. Now I have to awkwardly finish ringing him up and then hope he doesn't hold me hostage at the register. Both of my coworkers are now eyeing the guy, ready to step in if he tries to flirt with me again. He made a motion towards his ears while staring at mine. I have my ears stretched to an inch. Then he made a finger gun at me, holding it towards my ears, and said, whenever I see those, I want to stuff a barrel through them and empty a magazine. Mind if I try? I'd be like, leave me the fuck alone. We all three stood there in shock, just staring at him. I felt the color drain from my face. The woman he came in with was laughing, covering her face. He gave an awkward chuckle and said, oh, I might hit you if I do that. Oh no. That might be bad. Maybe, just a little bit. And then they left. I watched them get into their truck, and for a few minutes he just sat there, waving at me. I went to the back and my manager told me she was furious. She went out to find him, but he was gone. My other two coworkers came into the back to check on me and make sure I was okay, and then they hung around up front to make sure he didn't come back. While I was on my lunch, they said they saw a truck that looked like his stop in front of the store. It then sped off. I had to burp. It then sped off when somebody started to go out front, so they weren't sure. It was pretty suspicious. I'm off for the weekend, but creepy annoying dude, keep your weird fetish for shooting through bodily orifices away from me. Thanks. I love that. Bodily orifices. I think I want to read one more. We'll read a short one. This one's really short. It says, never emptying the ashtray at 4:30 a.m. again. I'm a smoker, and at my in-laws, they are non-smokers, so I have to go to the screened-in porch and indulge. I don't empty the ashtray every time because I'm afraid I'll start a fire, so I empty it around 4 to 5 a.m. before my mother and father-in-law wake up. Because respect. Okay, so I wake up to pee and go to empty the ashtray out on the porch. I open the unlocked screen door and I'm holding a plastic bag when I notice a large, hulking shape dressed in all black. Black jeans, black hoodie pulled over his face, black gloves, black work boots at 4:30 a.m., about 40 to 45 feet away, just standing there like a statue. So there's no way he could be out jogging. Furthermore, who begins work at 4:30 in the morning? Actually, I did. And I had to wear all black, so this could potentially be me, just hanging out before I had to work at Victoria's Secret at 5 a.m. every fucking day. Okay, I didn't mention that the screen door that lets you into the patio from the outside has no lock. I turn my body to dump the ashes and cigs into the bag, and as I turn back, not 6 or 7 seconds later, the hulking dude is right at the screen door with his hand on the handle. How did he get there so fast, and how did I not hear it? The voice in my head is saying, don't scream, don't take your eyes off of him, just go into the kitchen and lock the slider door. So I did. He never tried the screen door, but my in-laws are gun dealers, so all I can think is, bitch, you picked the wrong house. I ran into my husband's room and I left the door open so that if I did hear anything, I could scream. It was so scary because I do not know how he descended on me so silently. I have no clue what he wanted, but it couldn't have been good. So fart knocker who snuck up on me, go fuck yourself. Or come back, you crazy lunatic. I have a set 50 just for you. I don't know what a set 50 is. I'm assuming it's a gun. So they said set .50. So I'm gonna say set .50. Set .5? I don't know guns. These stories are so crazy because this happens every single day. Just whoever. Just random people. That's why I'm paranoid to leave my apartment pretty much 24/7. I was having a nervous breakdown the other night because I was thinking about my new apartment, and I was like, okay, well, I don't know the area that well, and it's not the same layout as the apartment I'm in now. And even when I first moved here, I was always paranoid walking from the parking lot to my building or walking in the stairwell because I wasn't used to the area yet and I wasn't used to this building. But like now I don't give a shit. Now I just run up and down the stairs like it's nothing. I go get 10 sodas a day. I don't really care. But I was nervous. I was like, well, I don't know my new apartment, so what if something happens because I don't know the area that well? And I'm like, oh my god, you're gonna be fine. I'm always really cautious too. I'm just the most paranoid human being ever, so I'm always really cautious. I actually read something, I'm sure you guys have seen this as well. I think it went around on like Facebook, Twitter. It's on everything. I think it was talking about it was either murderers or rapists, what they look for in a victim. So if you're easily distracted, or if you're not looking around you, or if you're like on your phone while you're walking, stuff like that. So I never look at my phone. I'm always looking everywhere. Like I turn around in circles and I'm like, who the fuck is around me? That was kind of random, but I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any stalker stories of your own, please send them to me. Send them to my email. I will have it written down below. I've had a lot more of you sending me yours and I love them. I love them so much. I'm gonna go get another Diet Coke, my second for the day. I love myself. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I bought a pack of Diet Coke maybe 4 days ago, and I already drank all of them. So now I'm back to going to the vending machine every single day. It's a hard knock life for us. It's a hard knock. Bye. See ya.